What's up, Ravens fans? You guys have a lot of questions right now. It's our Ravens mailbag segment. Ryan Mink and I will do our best to answer your questions as the Ravens are sitting here at 3-4 in the bye week. And there's some questions about what's going to happen over the next couple of weeks. So that's where we'll start today. Jermaine tailored question. Jermaine wants to know if there's going to be anything exciting happening. He's just making his plans. So Jermaine wants to know, could a big trade happen over the bye, maybe for a free safety? And just as a little historical context here, last year the Ravens did make a trade. They traded for Will Davis midseason. And you go back before that, Eugene Monroe, if you remember, 2013, they went out and got him. So there's a little bit of a precedence for this.
Well, it's every other year that they make a trade, right?
So you're going to take a pass on that?
This is an off year. No, I don't see the Ravens making a trade. They don't really have too many long-term season-ending injuries right now where you say there's a glaring hole in this position. Terrell Suggs is going to be coming back. They have young pass rushers to kind of negate Dumerville's injury. I think specifically the question at free safety, no. Ladarius Webb's little hamstring tweak in this past game against the Jets, I don't think is a long-term problem. I expect he and Weddle still be back there. And Matt Elam is now probably going to be activated to the 53-man roster. At least he has a chance to do so now. So they have depth at safety. I just don't see where they really need to go out. And we all know they love to protect those draft picks. Is there a spot where they need to mortgage the future for now? I don't think so.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The next question, this deals with the offense. So one of the tight ends, the young guys, this was from Twitter, and the question is, we have a 6'6" tight end in Darren Waller who runs a 4.4 second 40-yard dash. Why don't we use him in the red zone area? Well, right now, Darrell Waller, since he's come back and been activated, he's really just been a blocker and a special teamer, not really too much involved in the passing game.
But do you like it?
I kind of like the idea. I've always been a big fan of Darren Waller. I look at him on the field, and he's an imposing physical presence at 6'6", one of the best athletes, I think, on the team. Actually, one of the biggest combine freaks we've ever had here that the Ravens ended up drafting. So I kind of like the idea. If you're down there at the 10-yard line, he can go up and get a jump ball better than just about anybody on this team. I like maybe throwing some shots to him.
Yeah, you're one of those fans. You just see the big guy out there and you just say, throw it up, give him the jump ball.
Yeah,
but I
put it up there and let him go get it.
I don't think it's that easy. I think that, the Ravens have other red zone options, especially once Steve Smith comes back. He can make those tough catches in there. I don't know that Darren Waller's high enough on the list for me to really take that opportunity away from other guys.
Yeah, everyone knows that Steve Smith, you love to just throw the jump ball to him down.
I'm not talking about jump balls to Steve Smith.
He loves the fade route jump balls.
5'11" or whatever Steve is. Sorry, yeah. Steve, if you're actually 6 foot. Last question comes from William McLee, and William asks, does Joe Flacco plan to work on his fundamentals? He never plants his feet. Well, I'd say never might be a little bit of a stretch here, William. But I do agree with you. I'm seeing too many throws in which Joe's kind of fading back. I think we call it back foot Joe. Mm-hmm. And we don't like to see back foot Joe. We like to see planted feet, moving forward, stepping and throwing Joe. But part of that is because of the offensive line, and that is legitimate. Joe's seeing too much pressure right now behind a kind of patchwork offensive line. That will be helped once Ronnie Stanley and Marshall Yanda, two of your best players on offense, once they return. I hope to see more of that from Joe. But yes, I agree with you. Joe there have been instances where I think he's felt too much pressure that wasn't exactly there. So he needs to play better as well, I think.
Yeah, Marty Morningway talked this week about getting those fundamentals kind of worked out. That's something that they're going to work on over the bye, and shoring up the offensive line is definitely a piece of that.
Yes.
All right, so those are all the questions we have time for today. But as always, we love to hear from you guys, so send in those questions every single week on social media. Thanks for watching, and have a great rest of your day.